Hey there, Solid Canine Training Support here. When I was editing up this video, I noticed that these dogs were really, really loud. We edit a lot of videos here, and these dogs were really loud compared to other dogs. And I didn't want to do that to your ears. I didn't want to do that to your speakers, but I did want to let you hear what that sounded like. So the next 10 seconds, I have the raw audio that's going to come through. After that, I turned on the noise canceling, and you'll be able to hear Jeff and Joelle nicely after that. So just be warned and enjoy the rest of the video.
Hey everybody, really excited to bring you our next course, Chaos to Control. So many people out there are struggling with their dogs, and so many people are looking for a magic wand to solve their problems. But it actually doesn't have to be that difficult. It actually also doesn't take a huge amount of skill set. You can do it. So what we're doing is we're giving you a blueprint on how to do it. It's a 7-day, unedited, live course with a real dog, with real problems, belonging to a real family that we will start working with the day that we get it in. And you'll see the transition of the dog's energy, the dog's obedience, the dog's behavior, the dog's manners over just 7 days. So imagine what you can do with this dog over a month, over 2 months, over 3 months with your own dog, with a brand new dog. If you're a trainer, with your clients' dogs. If you're working in rescue, with a rescue dog. And it's using a lot of common sense, dog training technique, different tools, but it's the philosophy that's the most important. So many people have been telling us over the last 20 years how grateful they are for watching just like one of our videos. Well, imagine watching a whole blueprint of videos laid out right in front of you, unedited. So therefore, you're gonna see mistakes. The dog's gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have to troubleshoot on the fly, and you're gonna see it all. And also, you'll be able to ask questions during, but absolutely at the end of it all, there'll be a large Q&A section. And all of this is great because, and if you happen to miss one of the days, don't worry about it. Every night you get the recorded version emailed to you. I like the fact, and so does everybody else, of the unedited part. Therefore, it's all put out in front of you. So no smoke, no mirrors, things like that, which is very common in this industry. I think we're getting to be well known for that transparency of this is how we do it. This is it. This is the real deal. So we're really excited about this. We're excited to be able to present it to you, have you, come into our living room and watch us and be able to interact with you live. We're really excited. So take a peek, read through what it's all about, what you get from it, what you'll get out of it, and can't wait to see you there live. Does your dog act like this when it sees another person or another dog? Hey everybody, really excited to bring you our next course, Chaos to Control. So many people out there are struggling with their dogs, and so many people are looking for a magic wand to solve their problems. But it actually doesn't have to be that difficult. It actually also doesn't take a huge amount of skill set. You can do it. So what we're doing is we're giving you a blueprint on how to do it. It's a 7-day, unedited, live course with a real dog, with real problems, belonging to a real family that we will start working with the day that we get it in. And you'll see the transition of the dog's energy, the dog's obedience, the dog's behavior, the dog's manners over just 7 days. So imagine what you can do with this dog over a month, over 2 months, over 3 months with your own dog, with a brand new dog. If you're a trainer, with your clients' dogs. If you're working in rescue, with a rescue dog. And it's using a lot of common sense, dog training technique, different tools, but it's the philosophy that's the most important. So many people have been telling us over the last 20 years how grateful they are for watching just like one of our videos. Well, imagine watching a whole blueprint of videos laid out right in front of you, unedited. So therefore, you're gonna see mistakes. The dog's gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have to troubleshoot on the fly, and you're gonna see it all. And also, you'll be able to ask questions during, but absolutely at the end of it all, there'll be a large Q&A section. And all of this is great because, and if you happen to miss one of the days, don't worry about it. Every night you get the recorded version emailed to you. I like the fact, and so does everybody else, of the unedited part. Therefore, it's all put out in front of you. So no smoke, no mirrors, things like that, which is very, very common in this industry. I think we're getting to be well known for that transparency of this is how we do it. This is it. This is the real deal. So we're really excited about this. We're excited to be able to present it to you, have you, come into our living room and watch us and be able to interact with you live. We're really, really excited. So take a peek, read through what it's all about, what you get from it, what you'll get out of it, and I can't wait to see you there live. All right, we're recording now. Hey, Stephanie, how are you?
Good, Jeff. How are you?
Good, really, really good. So we're excited to get your 2 dogs in. So
we're excited.
your 2 little reactive dogs. So talk to us about they're 11-month-old, right?
They will be when they come to you right now.
So
they're
11-month-old miniature schnauzers, and you've had them since the beginning, correct?
Yes, since they were 16 weeks old.
Okay. So what was their behavior like when you first got them?
They were puppies, slept a lot, were pretty manageable and easy. Crate trained at night easily, no whining. It was actually picture perfect, kind of. Potty trained easy. It was good.
And did you start training them right away, or were you more like pretty lax, like a lot of people are, where they're like, oh, we'll just own these 2 dogs and just see how it goes?
I would say that we were probably lax, like most people, and didn't really, other than the crate training overnight, really start training them other than sit and, a few basic commands, until around 6 months.
6 months. All right. But you've always walked them though, correct?
Oh, yes. They've always walked.
So when did the leash react? Because the video that you sent us was you not even leaving your house.
Correct. And it gets only worse from there.
It looks like you were probably like right either inside your house or right outside the door. And they were like, because they weren't even at the driveway yet.
No, at the threshold, basically, of leaving the door.
Yeah. And that's the norm. That's not their behavior at the house. That's how they act out on the walk as well.
Yes, if they see another dog, not every person, some people, they know a lot of our neighbors, so they won't react like that around certain people. But if it's somebody that they don't know, completely reactive, just like you saw in the video. And then also, we live in a neighborhood that has a couple of small ponds. So if they see a duck, a squirrel, just the little geckos, it's like the same.
Got it. It looked at one point like one of them, when they were really going, it looks like, first of all, one of them is worse than the other. That's for sure.
Correct. Yeah. That is correct.
And which one is that?
The black and white one, that is Theo. So and
Theo.
He's always been the worst.
Yes, you can tell. It looked at one point, Theo turned, and has Theo ever bitten your other dog?
He has never bitten the other dog. However, he has growled, snarled, appeared like he may bite, but has never bitten him. And it's exactly what you said. It's that turn. They both get to going, and then he will turn on them.
Got it.
On Bo, which is the other one.
Right. So in the house, when they're in the house and they see something out the window, is the same behavior?
Same behavior, yes. In fact, we don't necessarily allow them to the front office, like where our window is, just for that reason.
Okay,
because we don't want them barking at everything that comes by.
Going to change. That's going to change. They'll be allowed in there after us. So, it's funny because whenever you talk to people, see a video like that, people immediately go like, "Why didn't the owners do anything?" And I'm like, again, owner shaming. And I'm like, well, they'll be 11 months old when they come here. They are sending them to us, but without naming any names, you did send them away to another place. So you obviously knew you had a problem. You knew you had a problem, but most people just don't have a skill set to stop one out of control dog, let alone 2.
did you try on your own with information that you saw online, or information before you sent them to that one board and train?
So yes, we tried with information that we found online. I found all different. I mean, you could go down a rabbit hole online. So I tried, and this was before I found you guys. Just seeing like the basic training, trying to get them a little bit more in control on the walk, and along with just trying to find the basics. And it was not working for us. No
Got it.
matter what we did, we could not get. I mean, there's good times and bad times with everything, right? But it's always been the reactivity towards another animal
Yeah.
or dog.
Yeah. Once a dog goes down the reactivity road, it's like unless you stop it, there's no turning back. It's not like there's, anything's going to make progress. So, and then how old were they when they went to the boarding train prior to them eventually kind of be coming to us?
About 7 months when they went to the board and train.
All right. So you've known this. So it's like, you've known for a while that obviously this is what I try to explain to, clients there's sometimes like, why aren't the owners doing more? It's like 7 months is pretty early to send a dog to a boarding train. It's not too early. I mean, 6 months is a great time actually to send a dog to a boarding train, but it's like when you first realize that it's out of your control, you lined up someone and sent them there. Okay.
Yeah. The minute that we kind of knew we were in over our heads, that's when I started researching local, somebody local to our area. And I started asking, like I asked around, asking friends if there was anybody, that kind of thing. Just so that we could have some sort of control.
Right. And the boarding train you went to, it's not like it was a reward only. They actually do correct unwanted behaviors, and it sounds similar to what people say that we do. But did they come back worse or totally untrained, or?
They came back worse, to the point where within an hour of being home, I was like besides myself. They were just out of control. We could not get them. And we, like I said, we had done some basics, but they were not listening to what we were saying. They were just like running amok everywhere, chasing each other all around. We tried so many times to get them on place and to get them settled. And I thought, well, maybe it's just because they're just getting home.
Right.
I had kind of noticed some things during the pickup that had concerned me about how they were acting at that point in time, because I was like, "Ooh, they seem to be different, necessarily with just with each other." So we could not get them under control when they got back. It was chaos.
And how much training did you get? Because this is what we always, there's people that feel very strongly against boarding trains. They're like, well, the owner needs to know. And I'm like, well, the owner does get training, but let the experts do what the experts do. Once a dog is sort of like an hour a week is not going to help you with those two dogs. Like you need full immersion, but it's like, then like let the professionals do what the professionals do. And then the training of the human, it's like, great, now we're working with trained rehab dogs. So now we just have to teach the human how to keep up with it. And then the owner just goes, oh, so if I just do this, and this, it'll all work out for me. I'm like, basically, yeah. At least we have a great starting point now, a new starting point now. So did you get, we offer 6 hours of training, which a lot of people don't, but did you get training at all? Or was it just here's your dog?
It was very minimal, less than an hour. They were turned over to us. The trainers could not get them under control. The one was actually the one that's more reactive. Theo was running in circles and actually on his hind legs, just spinning around while they were trying to hand the dogs off. He was jumping and just spinning in circles, and they could not get him under control. And that's when I was like, oh, there's something wrong here. So
Yeah.
it was very much said to us like, your dogs were difficult to train. They've been trained. Here you go.
But they couldn't control them.
But they could not control them.
Right. So red flag for owners. It's like if the trainer can't control the dogs, how do we expect owners to control the dogs? Because this is what we do for a living. Like we should be good at what we do. At least we should be able to. I mean, put it this way: we can't expect the owners to be better than us. It's just
Right.
it's the way it is. And I'm sure you work, correct?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Okay, so you know the concept of like your internship and your residency and training and the repetitions and like
Uh-huh.
everything. Just like I always tell people, like I've had my blood drawn so many times, and like you can always tell someone that's really good at drawing blood. It's like thank you. And I've had a couple of really bad blood draws, and I'm like I always feel like saying you need to go back to school for this. This is not very comfortable for me, and I've got really good veins to draw blood from. I'm pretty easy. Um, so you understand the concept of the human being trained
Yes.
for results. Yeah,
Hmm.
got it. Another, that's another thing. It's like a lot of people don't know our demographics of clients, and it's like, well, here we are with an intelligent working professional that owns these two dogs that, yes, reached out for help, that realized they had a problem, but unfortunately they were failed by the system. Yeah, that's really too bad. And then what did you do after that? So you get them home, we're back to square one, and then
So I start researching again, and I am going through everything I can possibly find. Um, looking at not just like my local area to see what I can find, but looking just in general, all over Florida. And that's when I came across you guys and Solid Canine Training, and I started following you on social media. And then I bought the Green to Graduate course
okay, great.
and started going through that, just gathering as much information as I possibly could to try and enhance my knowledge and better myself, because when you're at that point you feel like you failed everything. it's
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's not, I mean, I have two kids too, and it's like I'm like, I failed these poor dogs. I haven't done what I was supposed to do. You feel embarrassed to even reach out and ask for help. It's just easier to, we walk them, we just started walking them first thing in the morning before it's even light out, because there's less people in our neighborhood.
Right.
Walking them late at night, the same reason. We started not having them together when they were outside, so that and so that they wouldn't be together, so we wouldn't have two of them. But
Right.
you just feel kind of helpless. And so that's when I came across you guys. Like I said, started watching or started doing the Green to Graduate course, and then it came up that you were looking for somebody for the leash reactivity course. And that's when I was like, I'm just gonna try and email them and
Right.
see what happens, because we need help.
It's funny because people always ask us, like, they see us working with big dogs and they're like, well, how about for little dogs? And I'm like, it's the same training. It's the same. It's like a reactive dog is a reactive dog is a reactive dog. It's so how did this affect your life though? Like, because it is embarrassing to bring dogs like that out in public.
It was chaos, because we do our family does travel quite a bit. We have a daughter that's at college. So of course, when we got the two dogs, and when they were just little, we had traveled to see her at college, and we thought we would be able to continue doing that
Right.
without any issues. And just our family isn't from around here, so traveling just with them to see family, they're little, we can fly. We were like, oh yeah, we
I
can
know
fly
you can fly anywhere with dogs like that. I know.
we can fly anywhere with these guys. So it has created a lot of strife in our house. I will say there have been a lot of arguments and disagreements
Yeah.
over, managing these dogs and what we can do. And then we started scaling back, because I mean, even though it is 100 degrees in Florida right now, we're a pretty outside family. We like to be outside with,
Yeah.
you know, go to the farmer's market on Saturday and everything like that. But we started kind of living our lives around the dogs and making sure like someone was home with the dogs to, we didn't want like our neighbors to hear them, barking or anything like that. And we just didn't want to go. We just didn't want to be out.
We talk about that a lot on our podcasts, that the human, having a badly behaved dog destroys families. I mean, destroys relationships. It limits. I mean, great example is we can't go to the farmer's market. We can't leave our house. We can't have friends over. We can't bring our dogs to friends' houses. We can't go to, all these different things. And people don't take that into effect. And that's why, again, also, like, don't you want these problems to end quickly too, where it's like supposedly fixing problems quick is a bad thing. And now I know that you're in the medical industry. I imagine most people want to get better quick. So it's,
that same moment, if we can immediately fix the problem, of course, that's the goal.
Right. Which is the goal of what we are. And that doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. So you can they not be in the car as well? Because they go nuts in the car if they see a dog?
If they see a dog. So we can, because they're small enough, we've gotten away with it so far because when they're in our car, it's an SUV. So they're down low and they actually can't see out the window for the most part.
Okay.
So we've been able to at least control them in the car, but getting out of the car can be a disaster. Even getting them in the car and to the car can also be a disaster because you've got to make sure that there's no one around, basically.
Oh. So if you walked them to the back of the car and there was a dog, they'd be going ballistic and you're trying to get them in the car.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then if you stop somewhere and you want to take them out, if there's any dogs around, you can't.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Wow. That's not fun.
No, it's not at all.
Well, we'll have some fun stuff to role play then. We do excursions every day. Like your dogs are going to be like going to Home Depot and Barnes and Noble and all kinds of fun things.
I cannot wait to see them, see them transform and get to go out and actually be social, like be able to be in public and not be absolute chaos.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's a pretty big dog park. We don't go into dog parks, but there's a huge dog park right by us. It's actually like a mile away. And it's great because it's so large and dogs love to just run full speed up to the fence when they see a dog on the opposite side of it. And we love just walking up and down the fence line and then putting dogs like in downstays, and like these dogs just run full force, and our training dogs just don't move. They just like, I don't care. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Awesome. It's pretty cool to watch. And you'll be able to do all those things. Yeah. So I'm excited too. I'm excited that we've got little dogs. It's funny because everyone always asks us about little. This is the first thing I said to Joelle after I showed her your dogs. She's like, this is great. I'm like, yeah, it is great. But darn well now people are going to say, well, does it work with big dogs? And it's so funny because when we have big dogs, people are like, well, that's great, but will it work with little dogs? So it's like, it's all the same.
It's funny because I never thought that these little dogs could be so reactive and so much work. And like, I don't want to say so much work, but could just be like they are.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you had two Rottweilers that did this. Yeah. Or two German Shepherds. Yeah. People do. I mean, it's really scary. It's very scary. And then they have dog fights in the middle of the road. I mean, it's really scary. Yeah. And how are they with the kids? Other than they're out of control in this, which is huge, obviously. Like how's their general, not as far as training, like obedience, but how's their general just manners? Like just are they aggressive with kids at all? Are they pretty polite? They're good with the kids.
They're good. So my two kids are older. But we have had them around other kids in our neighborhood, and friends that have younger kids, and they've never been aggressive towards children, they will let them pick up, like the kids, we've let them pick them up, and they've had no issues
Right.
whatsoever. The only problem that we have, not with kids, but you cannot like pick both of them up. So say like the other day when I was out walking, there was a big dog like coming towards us off Alicia, had gotten out of the
That's so
house. and
scary.
and that's so and I was scared, so I just reached down to grab
Yeah.
both of them. And you cannot pick both of them up at the same time. I don't know what it is, but the Theo will go, he'll do that turn, he does that turn and tries to go
Right.
after,
Right.
tries to go after the other one, where he's growling and snarling and just downright nasty.
Yeah. Well, guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be picking them up a lot at the same time. So like, because
But
what we do is like whatever they're not good at, great. That's what we're going to do. Like, because I mean, and it's funny because people say never pick up the dog. It's like if I owned, because your dogs are small, they're like 10 pounds, correct?
yeah, they're both 10 pound.
Yeah.
One's a
So
little bit
I
less
mean,
than 10
if I
pounds. So
owned if I owned a small breed dog like yours and I saw a big dog racing towards me,
mhm.
that's, I'd pick up my dog. Absolutely. That's the first thing I would do. Obviously, I'm not going to pick up my 30, 40, 50 pound dog, but a small dog with a big dog, because it doesn't take much for us, even just being stepped on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was definitely.
And does anybody else walk them or is it just you?
No, my husband will walk them, and then both my kids will walk them.
And they're the same with everybody, reacting with
They
everybody.
Yeah, the same with everybody.
Got it. Okay. So it's not like it's because some dogs like they resource guard like one person in the house, so they're really bad with one, but perfect or close to perfect with the other. But everybody's pretty much having problems with these dogs.
Yeah, they do the same thing for all of us.
All right. Well, it's all going to stop. Yeah, it's all going to stop. Yeah, that's upsetting about when you send your dogs away and you don't get results. And that's a good warning sign to let you know. It's like if because we have pickups that don't go great, but it's not like we can't control the dogs. That's a good tell for just as a public service thing that like if you go to
Mhm.
pick the dog up at a boarding train and the trainer can't even walk the dog or control the dog, then that's not a good sign. That's not a good
Yeah.
sign. And did you get any updates at all as far as videos while the dogs were away, or like
Um,
progress at all, or
so originally we were supposed to get video every day, and then there was some issues with technology and not being able to get videos.
right?
So there was a period of time where we saw the first couple of days no problem, and then it was probably a week that we didn't really have video, and then it was video and time to pick them up, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Those darn iPhones, they don't text videos very well, I guess. So yeah, that's the technology problems, right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
we do everything on a phone. It's great. That's what's great. But we're not going to send you a video every day. So yeah. Some of my colleagues do. They're like, I see, oh yeah, all my clients get a video every day. I'm like, every day you send videos to clients. That's a lot. It's a lot of
Mhm.
that's a lot of time. Yeah, but you'll see the course. You'll see the course. So yeah, we'll make sure that Joelle gives you access to the course so you can watch. And you'll see the progress. You'll see you'll see. Put it this way, you'll see what we do to stop them, because even when they come back to you, they might be like, oh, this is where I'm allowed to be reactive. So when you shut it down we're going to also show you obviously, but when you shut it down right from the beginning, they'll go, oh, because they've been conditioned and trained
Mhm.
in so many reps of like, the guys aren't allowed to do this stuff anymore. So they'll believe that. So they'll believe us. They'll believe us. It's like, we're not allowed to do this anymore. And you'll see video of them everywhere. So it's like, you'll know that they're capable of doing it. So once you know that they're capable of doing it, well, then, and we train you, now they've got to believe you that they're capable of doing it. So we'll train you.
Awesome.
Anything
We're
else?
ready to be trained. I'm ready to be trained. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you, I mean, you know what it's train. I mean, you've got medical training, so you know what it's like to be trained. Like it's hard stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. My mom's a nurse. You know, we're retired. I don't know. When you're a nurse and you don't nurse anymore, but you're still a
You're
nurse.
still a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, yeah, you're always a nurse. Yeah. Yeah.
You're always, yeah. People
she-
still always want to show you things, and
Right.
ask you questions no matter what.
Yeah. It's like, look at this thing on the bottom of my foot. Yeah. All right. Do you have questions at all?
Um, Not that I can think of right now. We're definitely ready to drop them off
Yes.
in September and get to see them. And we are so excited
Yes.
to work with you guys and so grateful that
Yes.
we have found you.
So
Um,
the drop off is going to, so, you know, day one, I don't know if I told you this, but uh, the day one, the drop off is actually the first day of the course.
yes, I
Which,
saw. Well, I saw that in
really?
the
So it's going to be
because
with you. Yes.
yes, that's good. That's perfect for us. And I
Yeah.
promise I will be on time no matter
Yes. Yeah.
what getting over
It's,
there.
it's been, it's been advertised.
I got my plan already.
It's been advertised for 9 o'clock in the morning. So, which is about the
We'll
only
be there
time.
way before 9. We'll be there before 9
Yeah.
and
It's about
ready to
the only
go.
time it's about the only time we can walk a dog that, or we actually earlier than that. Yeah, it's just so hot. It's been a hot week.
Yeah, it's been unbelievably hot.
It's
So
been, it's been over 100 like all week. Yeah, it's been really, really rough. Really, really rough. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for
all
coming out
right.
and allowing me to film you and being transparent and opening up your life to us, because it's funny because some people don't want to do something like this, and I'm like, well, first of all, how did you find me? And they usually found me through some sort of connection, through like a testimonial that somebody made. It's like, yeah, that sounds just like Hard Dog, and I'm like, you can change someone's life, or they're embarrassed, or they think they're the only ones out there with leash reactive dogs, and I'm like, this is probably, this and separation anxiety are the two biggest things that people are struggling with right now. Yeah, it's really, really bad. It's really bad. So, all right. Well, we'll see you actually with what, 3 weeks? Not
Yes.
even 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
3
right.
weeks.
Okie doke. Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff. Have a great night.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so watch these dogs as they come in. Okay. Hi, Stephanie, how are you? You want a bottle of water? Are you sure? Okay. We're gonna put the dogs in the kennels. And notice, see how hesitant they are going in the kennels? That's gonna improve. Notice how they're pulling on the leash. So if these dogs were off leash, where would they be? Everywhere. Everywhere. All right.
Theo, Bo. Okay, Theo's black, Bo is the white.
Okay.
Got it.
And can we close the front door now?
Yeah,
right.
I got it.
What about, you sure you
Oh,
don't want
here,
water?
and then-
Okay. Okay, you just clip this on your top of your
yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah.
All right, and then the camera, we've got 2 cameras right there we're filming into.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and your hair looks
Last
wonderful,
one.
and your hair looks wonderful. Okay? Traffic, man.
Oh, it's a ride and a half.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour trip turned into a 4-hour trip.
Yes,
I know.
pretty much. My
Florida
goodness.
traffic. I know. It's out of, and it's a holiday.
I know, I didn't like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, Florida, the traffic in Florida, we've been down here for 2 years. And
Uh-huh.
even in those 2 years, it has dramatically increased.
Oh, yeah, I've been here for 10 and we
Yes.
used to come over to the beach all the time. And
Yes.
it was under 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'd be able
yeah,
to fly
Yeah,
over.
you can't do that anymore.
No,
No, no.
no.
It takes us sometimes, so the beach, we can get to in under 10 minutes sometimes.
Mhm.
On a busy day, close to an hour. Yeah, yeah, and it's right there.
I know, it was.
It's just right there. I
No,
know.
it's just coming in after I got onto 301 and I was like, oh, and my
Yes.
GPS kept like taking me, go this way, go that way. I was like,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
frazzled.
So what we're gonna do is, so all that energy that you saw the dogs come in with, that's like one of the things where you start. All this barking in the crate like this, that's where you start. And you're gonna start with all those things. So Stephanie, just really, really quick, do you need to use the bathroom?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. I was gonna say, we've got a potty yard outside. Okay. You want a snack?
No, I'm okay.
Sure. So talk to me about, what are your big, pain points, with the dogs?
The walking, first of all, you like cannot walk them together at all
Why not?
because they go crazy, as you saw, like pulling. We see another dog, a duck, a rabbit, they just take off flying. They get all tangled up, you're tripping, falling. And then occasionally, Theo, the black and white one, will nip at Bo.
Oh, we saw that. We
Which
put
in the
that-
video,
so-
yeah.
So if everybody saw the promotional video when they were at the end of the leash, which by the way is not, it looks like you're still semi in your house.
Yes.
Yes, so that's not
That's
even,
coming out the door.
that's not even in your driveway. So you can see you see the dogs, you see a car. So you're sort of like in your little courtyard area.
Yeah.
Then there's your driveway, then there's the sidewalk and the streets.
Mhm.
So you still have technically 3 points of
Yes.
entry before you actually go for your walk.
Yep.
And the dogs were already out of control,
Mhm.
and that's normal.
Yeah, that's
So
normal.
getting out of your house is a shit
Even
show.
just going to the door and getting like getting their collars and their leashes on it
Yes.
is an absolute shit show.
Okay, got it.
They're like, you're trying to like get, one's going this way, one's going that way. That's why I keep one behind a gate, and walk the other one and then come back and walk the second
Oh,
one.
you don't walk them both at the same time anymore?
No, mm-mm.
Did you ever?
Oh, we did when they were smaller before they kind of got
Okay.
crazy and out of control.
If you see the video, I think it was Theo. Is it Theo that at one point when Theo was who was on the left in that video?
That was Theo.
Okay.
Yep.
So and they're only 11 months old now.
They're 11 months old.
I
Yep.
predict in another month, Theo would start attacking your other dog.
Mhm.
Because there was a moment when they were both going nuts barking. There was a moment, and we'll stop it. We'll probably post that up
Okay.
maybe on tonight's show or something, Joelle. There's a moment where Theo turned. They're both going crazy. Theo turned, didn't bite,
No.
but
mm-mm.
that is
But
how.
he'll you think he's going
in,
to.
in a month, yeah,
Mhm.
in a month, yeah.
Yeah, he you could tell
Yeah.
that it's gonna
It's gonna
just
happen.
a matter of time.
It's called redirection. It's common. It doesn't necessarily mean your dog is aggressive. It's absolutely unacceptable, but it's very, very common when you got 2 dogs in drive, all being reactive. They've got to bite something,
Mhm.
and it's like, well, you're right next to me. I'll bite you. If the dogs were in closer into a better heel, it probably would be your leg.
Mhm.
It's all frustrational based stuff, but it's unacceptable. Like, we don't make an excuse for it. It can't happen. So walks are a shit show.
Walks are a shit show.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now you're walking them one at a time.
Yep. One
Okay.
it is.
Which is a waste of time, frankly.
It is. Yeah.
In the house, windows.
Oh yeah, we don't let them go to like the front of our house because the windows are kind of like at the ground level.
Right.
So they see everything, everyone that walks by, every dog that walks by, and it'll just be barking like incessantly all day long. If
So
they were
if we
allowed
put a
in there.
dog outside and we just had your dogs go over there. So we'll show
They will
that
go
today.
They will go crazy, and then you would probably see like again when they're in that
So
close.
if we brought a dog out here, they would go nuts.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
when they're in that close proximity too, you'll see them turn. You'll see him turn
Got
on
it.
the other one. Like
Okay.
you're in my space.
got it.
Get out. Theo wants to be the boss no matter what.
Got it. And as far as well, they went to a board and train.
They did go.
We're not
to
going to name the
retreat.
board and train because it really doesn't matter. Usually a board and train, what happens is this. Dogs go to learn a set of skills. They learn what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. They do very well for the trainers because
Mhm.
we're trainers. That's the job.
Mhm.
But it's in a way, it's almost misleading because we're usually good at what we do. Owners come, small regression, and then things get better as the board and train pickup
Mhm.
goes
Goes
on. They go home. They historically do pretty well the first week. There's a little bit of regression because they're back in their old stomping grounds.
Mhm.
And usually the owner calls up the trainer and we say, well, the dog thinks, it could do what it used to do. So now it's time for you to really do all the things that we talked about at the pickup, which is more rules, more structure, less affection, higher consequences, and then keep working on all of your obedience and try to change that relationship.
Mhm.
And then they all of a sudden are like, great, it's looking great. But talk to me about the pickup. You went there to pick up
To
at the
get
board and
them
train,
up.
right?
Mhm. So we went for the pickup and we noticed immediately they brought out Theo first and he could not settle down. He was much worse than when we dropped him off. He was on the leash, running, spinning circles, absolute chaos, could not get him under control no matter what. We don't let them jump on like things at our house. They're small, so like they don't
Right.
get up. We put, if they are sitting next to us, it's because they're sitting next to us. We don't let them jump.
For sure.
They were he was flying around so much. We were outside and he was like jumping up on a chair, like
Right.
just out of absolute control. And could not get him basically under control for the whole pickup.
So upsetting, concerning.
Mhm.
Now, and I'm only bringing this up not to bash any board and train facility, but it isn't unusual when a dog sees an owner to be all excited. We actually enjoy that, believe it or not, because then we have the opportunity to say, okay, owner, I'm going to teach you. Like, if you picked up the dog and everything was perfect, in a way, it's like, well, how are you going to learn
Yeah.
to stop it? When you go home, it probably won't be perfect anymore.
Right.
And then a week from then, it probably will not be perfect. So we actually want the dogs to actually misbehave a little bit,
Mhm.
because then we get to say, awesome, grab a walker, use the e-collar, learn how to do a proper leash pop. And then the dog, at least at the training center, will go, oh, so my trainers knew how to do this.
Mhm.
Now my owner knows how to do this. And that's so much, and that's so much easier. So do you know how to stop all this?
We've never talked.
You didn't learn taught how to do that?
No,
Okay.
they didn't even, so when we picked them up from the board and train, they, like, there were no crates there. It wasn't like.
So you didn't do crate
to
protocol?
go- Yeah,
Okay.
no, we didn't do
Got it.
any crate
So,
protocols.
no. All right, so we sort of enjoy the dogs being a little bit out of control, so you can learn. Like,
You're gonna have to learn all.
you have to learn all this stuff.
Yeah.
So your pickup with us is 6 hours. Well, that's nothing. How long was your pickup for?
Maybe 30, 45
With
minutes.
2 dogs.
With 2 dogs.
Okay, so-
Because we couldn't get past
so-
the crazy, we couldn't get past the
Right.
craziness. It was kind of like, here, they're trained, they're your like.
Okay, so your problem.
They're
No, no, no,
probably-
no,
they're
no,
your
no,
problems,
no.
they're your
Your problems. Right,
problems.
so educational moment for folks to go to board and trains. Ask them, how much training do I get as a human? It doesn't have to be 6 hours, but with 2 dogs, it should at least be a couple of hours.
Mhm.
Another thing, if the dogs are out of control at your pickup, that's fine. But if the trainer can't shut it down, like, it makes you like,
Mhm.
wow. And then if the trainer can't teach the owner how to shut it down, like, we have a problem here. We have a problem here. I mean, you paid good money for that.
Yeah.
So you basically, they came back technically a little bit worse.
Yes, we hadn't seen any of that's really when we started noticing Theo kind of going after Bo,
Right.
was after the board and train. Prior to that, we hadn't noticed,
Right.
that. We didn't have like the running in circles like around our house going crazy.
Right.
And we were like, okay, we get it. You know, they're just coming back to us after a few weeks.
Right.
They're going to be, but we could not get them under control when we got them home
That's
whatsoever.
So a couple of things, important points. Number one, owners usually do make that excuse.
Mhm.
They need to settle in, they need to do this. But we tell people, no, as soon as you come home, new rules. Like, it starts right, put it this way, it started at the board and train when I picked you up, then it goes onto the car ride,
Mhm.
and then it goes into the house, then it goes when I open, like, all this stuff we role play everything. How you put them in your car,
Mhm.
how they go in the crate, how it should look when you go to your house. And then when you get home, it's like you don't need freedom. I mean, you've had freedom. Now, what does happen sometimes, how old were they when they went to the board and train?
6 months.
Okay. So it's not unusual, but they were only there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, but let's say they were for 6. It wouldn't be unusual for a dog it's 6 weeks to 7.5 months, or 6 months to 7.5 months, or 8 months to 9.5 months if they were there for 6 weeks, for a dog to sort of change a little bit,
Mhm.
because it's such a big growing period. If they were from 2 to like
2 and 1.5 months, it's no big deal.
Mhm.
But when you are going through that stage, it's not unusual for dogs to change.
Mhm.
But if nobody can control the dogs, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Which I'm
What
sure.
that's what we were kind of like, we're
Yeah.
like, what are we supposed to do
Right,
with them now? Like,
Right. So that's a concern, but I'm glad you found it. So now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do our job, which is to stop all the unwanted behaviors, teach the wanted behaviors, take them out into, like, you'll see videos of them at Home Depot. And you'll see videos of them at outdoor cafes lying. This will be pretty cool stuff. I mean, you're gonna do it. So during the pickup, there's this great bakery we found in downtown Sarasota,
Mhm.
and they've got outdoor chairs. And it's like, you sit down, dogs go into a downstay, drink iced coffee, you got nice pastry. It's really cool. And there's lots of, yes.
That's what we want.
Well, isn't that what everybody wants?
Yes.
I mean, I would like to think so.
Yeah.
I really would. And
Mhm.
having 2 small dogs, I mean, I don't know if you travel or not, but they can go underneath seats on air. Like, you can take these dogs anywhere.
Yeah, that was our ultimate goal because we travel quite a bit.
Okay.
And fly a lot.
Okay. So that's what's great about these dogs is you don't have to, you don't have to put them in cargo. You don't have to, drive places because you can't fly with them. They can go into a little pet carrier and it'll be tight, but they can still go in there and they can just go right underneath the seats. No barking, no nonsense. No matter, and there's usually other dogs at the airport and there's usually other dogs on the plane. And it's like, doesn't matter. Go in your carrier and lie down.
Mhm.
Go in your carrier and lie down. So, and all that stuff is, in my opinion, would be expected behavior. Like, this is like, so your goal, I want to travel with my dogs.
Mhm.
Our goal is get them travel ready. So get them public access ready, which is cafes, farmers markets. We're not going to take them to a dog park, but we are going to walk by a dog park because there's one dog park that's right by us. Dogs love to run. They charge the fence, which is awesome because, like, they can't get through the fence, but they'll charge it.
Uh-huh.
So dogs that are explosive normally would explode, but your dogs won't explode. And if they do explode, we have to teach them not to explode.
do it.
So
Yeah.
we actually hope they misbehave, so we can teach them not to misbehave. So that's if everything was perfect in a board and train during the training process, then I'm like, well, the dogs aren't going to learn.
Yeah, they're not going to know.
They're not going to learn what not to do. They're just going to, so we have to make them misbehave, and we will. We'll put a lot of pressure on them. They sleep through the night.
Yes.
They, no potty issues. They sleep in crates.
They sleep in crates.
No potty issues
Yep.
at all.
No, no potty issues.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Feed them in crates.
We do not feed them in crates.
So we want you to start feeding them in crates. I mean, did you do once a day or twice a day with food?
Twice a day.
And you're just like 15 minutes, then you're done?
We don't leave food
And
out for them
good.
at all.
So that's smart. They'll leave food out. We like feeding them in crates. Number one, almost guaranteed safety.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't fight over food when you're in a crate.
Right.
And then if even little things, let's say, like, does one of them finish quicker than the other?
No, they're pretty much on
The
on
same
the
cadence.
same. Yeah, they
Yeah.
also will pee and poop at the same
Oh,
exact
which
time.
makes life easier.
If you have them together, like if we take
Which
them outside, they're pretty
No, it's good.
in sync.
That's good. But let's say one of them finished food first, and then the other one like went over to the other side of the crate and was staring. We would actually stop that
Mhm.
because if they weren't in a crate,
They'd go after each
they'd
other.
go out. They'd yeah.
Mhm.
And then you got a couple of issues: potential dog fight, but also weight issues.
Mhm.
Like you're eating,
More.
50% more food,
Yeah.
25% more food, and you're getting less. So you got one thin dog, one overweight dog. And the last thing you want, especially with your small breed dogs, but any dog, like we saw when we were in Sunday, we saw this just huge corgi. And it's
Oh.
like, you need to lose 20 pounds, and it's a corgi. It was like, I mean, corgis are
Yeah.
they're pretty active dogs,
Mhm.
All right, so how's their basic obedience? Can you put them into let's say right now, could you put them into a downstay right in front of us so we can have a conversation? And they would stay for 30 minutes,
No. Mm-mm.
15?
If you're lucky.
Okay.
If one of them moves though, the other one. That's like if one of them even like twitches, the other one's gonna be up.
Awesome to know. So what we'll do is we'll work one of them will be in place lie down, mind your business,
Mhm.
and the other one we work, and then we switch. Because what you don't want is this, it's for a couple of things. It teaches mind your own business.
Mhm.
It teaches, prevents separation anxiety from each other. That one's got to go to the vet. This one has to stay home.
Mhm.
And then this one just cries the whole time. The other one is gone.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and now people will probably ask, are they fixed or not fixed?
They're fixed.
Okay. Which
Yep,
they-
just recently,
which
a
they
month
would-
ago, maybe.
which they wouldn't need to be, but what's done is
Mhm.
done. But a lot of people will ask, if you fix them, it'll stop it.
It's
And here we go.
biggest lie someone ever told, because
Yes.
they didn't.
Did somebody tell you that?
No, but like you hear it, like we've heard that a
Right.
lot. Like, oh yeah, just get them fixed.
No.
We didn't expect, like, honestly, I didn't expect
No.
anything to change at all, but that was part of our contract when we got them.
And
was that
some
they
of
had
them
to
will
be-
say, getting two males is a mistake. And I'm like, no. I would rather, if I had a choice of getting two dogs,
Mhm.
I would do number one, male, number two, male, female, and at the very last option, two females. Because you want guaranteed fights? Everyone, it's like two intact males are gonna fight. I'm like, no. Two females, no matter if they've been spayed or not, are gonna fight
Right.
historically. Not always, but just like humans, two females in the same room can be the worst. And as a male, I'm saying this, but if Joelle was sitting here and she's a female, she would be saying the same thing. It's just the way it is. Some of the worst fights we've ever seen are between two female
my
dogs.
goodness.
Yeah. All right. So obedience, not real great.
No,
Public
say it's good.
access, it's not fun, not enjoyable.
Mm-mm. Not even a thing. So like they went to the vet just recently,
Okay.
when they were getting fixed. And I know that I put them in two carriers
Right.
and take them in that way, because I don't want them on
On the
leashes,
right.
like on the ground, because it'll be mass chaos. And even in the little carrier bags, they're like spinning circles and like, going crazy. So no, we just
So learn how to relax.
mm-mm. We just don't take them out really anywhere, because it's
Is that
a
what
shit
you, is
show.
that what you envisioned or what?
No.
like, when,
I thought we were gonna have these little dogs and we'd be taking them on vacation with us, and they'd be like all cute and fun, and no, not at all. Like, we don't even really, it's just really changed our lifestyle like the past couple months
for the
because
negative,
for the negative,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, we don't want to
right?
have to deal with it.
Right. Is
honestly.
there arguments in the house about the dogs?
No, just because it's usually just me with the dogs.
Oh, okay. So is it affected, but it has affected your lifestyle in a negative way,
Yes, because it's just like we just don't want to, like,
right?
if my husband is home, it's like, well, we just don't want to do anything, so I don't have to worry about
So you
having
so
to take them.
you won't take them. So you live in Florida.
Yes.
We have a lot of outdoor cafes.
Mhm.
Like you can bring your dogs to lots of places in Florida, which is really, really great.
Mhm.
Everything from beaches to fields to parks to outdoor cafes. I mean, outdoor cafes galore. Just we do a lot of our training in downtown Sarasota,
Mhm.
which is like almost every restaurant has a cafe, which you can just bring your dogs.
Mhm.
And so Sunday we were there for, I guess we didn't go for brunch, but I guess it was brunch time. But we had a lot of work to do, and they all have Wi-Fi. So we're just like, why not just go there? And then just plop the dogs in downstairs. So that's not even on the.
No, so we took them, we were at Cocoa Beach a few weeks ago, and we were like, oh, there's a new little breakfast place,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
right
yeah.
by where we are. And we're like, I was like, well, if we go and we like sit in the corner and we tuck them under the table, like maybe we really can make it work.
Right.
And it was fine till another dog came in and barked.
And then
And then they were like up and like up and out from underneath the table. And then you're like, they're pulling and you're trying to get them back under the table. And I was like, yeah, not happening
your
again.
breakfast gets cold.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just like, I'm not even hungry anymore.
Ah.
Let's just go, let's just walk back. But
That's frustrating. Yeah.
yeah,
It really is, because when you get two dogs, you're like,
we can do this and this. You have this like mental list in your head, like
Uh-huh.
all these great things you'll be doing, you know, and that hasn't happened.
No, that has not
That
happened.
sucks.
Yes,
Okay,
Yep.
awesome,
we have their e-collars in
Awesome.
the Bronx.
awesome. And that's not, I shouldn't, yeah, it's probably not helping because you didn't learn the training.
No,
You didn't
it
learn
was
the
just
training.
like for the e-collar was like basically handed to us and we weren't really like sure how to work it. And then it was kind of like, oh, just keep hitting the button till they do what you want it, till they do what you want. And I was like, I don't really feel
Yeah, that's actually not proper. Yeah,
comfortable. Like that doesn't sound right. And so then I'm like back like home trying to like research and I'm like, so then I was just like, this
Yeah.
is like, I don't know how to use it kind
Yeah.
of. And
So this
like,
I know people can't really hear me that good, but it's like people always say you gotta train on correctly on the e-collar, which you do, like, and that is literally the worst possible way you could ever train.
Right, so here, this is an example also, so Drell is like, you know, you have to learn how to train it, but, so if an owner can't go to a trainer and learn how to properly use the e-collar, like, that's where the big failure point is. That's why, like, yes, there's a proper way to use it and an improper way to use it, but you weren't even shown the most basic thing.
You want to show leash work, which is like, forget about e-collar.
Right.
No.
learn your
Just dog
Uh-uh.
training theory, yeah.
just start, yeah, we weren't shown really like,
You were shown out the door with a good one,
yeah.
sad.
And your dogs were the hardest we've ever tried to train. Like it was actually kind of like heartbreaking. And we're like, oh God, what did we do? And these are not our first dogs.
Right, right.
You know, like we've had
Right.
dogs and we did not expect to get to
Right.
dogs. It just so happens
Right.
that way.
And I'm sure a lot of people are gonna say, you know, litter mate syndrome. I actually don't believe in it. It's like, you can get two dogs at the same time.
Mhm.
You can get two dogs from different litters, say they're a month apart.
Mhm.
And this whole litter mate syndrome, like, explain to me what litter mate syndrome is. Okay, great. I can use that excuse for two dogs that are years apart. Like, literally, they're displaying that behavior.
Mhm.
I actually don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I said, if you put in our training and structure and consequences, litter mate syndrome goes away if there is a litter mate syndrome.
Mhm.
Like, whatever, like, let's stop calling it litter mate syndrome and just tell me what is wrong with the dogs, and I'll tell you how to fix it. So now we can't use that excuse anymore.
Mhm.
I just think it's another excuse for people that don't know how to rehab dogs and train dogs. But as an owner, like, I mean, you have a profession.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're good at what you do.
Mhm.
And you're relying on professionals. Like, right now we're fixing up one of our houses, and I'm like, I hired a professional to do it because that's what they do. You know, like, we're not doing it. We're cutting a little of the expenses by cleaning up after them because that's what, you know, we can do. But as far as like putting up the sheetrock and the electrical and the plumbing, like, we hire professionals to do all that
Mhm.
stuff. Okay. So let's do, yeah. Yeah, so first we're not gonna shut it down today. Don't we want to see it without it being shut down?
Figure, get right into how to stop.
Yeah, maybe that's after she leaves though.
Yeah.
Right, so while she's here, let's have Wes come out, walk by. Put Wes right outside
With them being how they are now.
in their crates first. Yeah, for safety.
He's already ready.
I don't want to go cross over to this.
How do you get over? Is that the norm?
That's the norm.
That's the norm.
Mhm.
Okay. And
If they were on the leash, they tangled, pulling,
okay,
absolute crazy.
all right.
Mhm.
So let's put Wes or Tex. Well, let's show it at the bear with a bear out of their kennel. Oh, the dogs are just frustrated in the crate. It's like, no, they're not frustrated in the crate. So you can bring Tex out. Let's see with Tex with a smaller dog. Just call him Tex. Come here, Tex. 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 Here.
I know,
Yeah.
aren't we all?
Yes.
We all
Yes.
so fun.
Tex can't. So that's the thing with a lot of dogs is like Tex can't stand. He hates this behavior. of his. Hates it. He's like, get me out of here quick. And ironically, Tex was dog aggressive, but he's like been rehabbed. So it's just like, he knows that like, Wes was too. It's like, they both know they're like, we don't like this. We don't like this. So now have them come out and grab their
Okay,
leashes. Is that camera gonna catch the door? Yeah. Okay. This is normal.
this is normal.
Okay, all right, we can put him back. What's great is you just slide him across the floor.
And if you need it mopped, they just mop along too. Everything
That's
goes
true.
right
Just
in
put
the
little
floor.
Swiffer pads on
Yep.
on their paws.
Hey, great.
So pretty much, obviously, so a little information for folks. A lot of people would at this point say, this is where the step one is so important. This is where
Great.
step one is so. Oh, you want to redo that? Are you serious?
Oh my,
Okay, all right, go ahead. Do that, let's do that again.
Okay, now we're on the normal computer mic. Where's Tex? He's not even over there. Like, I'm out of here.
Have Wes walk it down. Oh, the lights are really sensitive. You didn't do that. All right. You put it back. Well, the lights are really, really good. You know when I put the light down there?
Yeah, it must not pick up like nothing that's non-human. I
So
don't know.
people hear that?
I don't know. But I'm gonna put you back on the normal mics now.
You guys hear that? Making too high pitch, but not even picking them up.
So those are,
my ears hurt.
okay. That's interesting how they couldn't hear that. It could be much louder than that.
That's so weird. I don't know, it must be canceling it out. I'll ask Tony if there's anything we can do. but-
Well, it was really loud.
Yeah, it's very loud. It'll be on the replay though, like, no, 'cause this picks up audio.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, so
Okay,
you'll hear it on replay.
okay. All right, so that's typical. So they
Yes.
were, so if you couldn't hear it, I assure you, they were barking like crazy,
So loud.
jumping on the window. And why it wasn't picked up is beyond me. All right, so that's the normal.
Mhm.
And that's when you go outside and you walk them, that's how that would look as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. All right. Joelle is going to, you have dog food?
Yes.
Is that the Stella Chewy's, is it the frozen one or is it just the dry?
Just the dry.
Dry, we hydrate,
Hydrate. Yep.
add water to it. Add water to it, and then there's a couple of meds for
Yeah.
for other stuff. Okay, great.
Yep.
All right. So Joelle, you want to wait, you don't have a lot because it's the frozen, the dry stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just in a little.
Okay.
bag.
Do you need to use the bathroom before you leave?
Yes. please.
Okay. So if you go to the bathroom, it's straight there. All right.
All right.
So if you turn off your mic,
Yeah.
everyone will hear your bathroom. Yeah, they'll hear your bathroom stuff. Yes. Yeah. So if you couldn't hear that, which would,
Back. So maybe now you'll hear more.
so when she leaves, we'll do it again, everybody. But I assure you, it was out. Are the dogs still outside?
Texas.
Okay, you'll read what? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So how are we gonna do that when we're out and about? I guess we'll have to do the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, it was out of control. It was out of control. We can also do we can do something where you do it on your iPhone as well. On your iPhone as well. So that's the start. So you heard the story behind these dogs. Joelle will help you bring some stuff in really quick. Do you want a bottle of water for the road home? Okay, there's bottled water in the fridge. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. All right. It's okay. Okay. Nice to meet you. Okay, great. Okay, so you can ask your questions now, and then when Joelle comes back in, she can read them to me. And you can see this on the replay. So you'll see, and you'll learn how to shut this up. And the way you shut up a lot of the crate nonsense is you would say no. So no. And that's one way of stopping crate nonsense. So what a lot of people will think is they think by hitting the crate, it makes dogs have a negative association with the crate. I assure you it doesn't. So day one, step one of stopping unwanted behavior is you need to shut it down. So what we'll probably do is we'll duplicate that again with me holding the leash with one dog at a time, and I'll use the bonker and I'll show you how to stop all that nonsense in here. Most likely we'll do, what time is it now? Oh, it's not even 10 o'clock now. So we'll show you how to do that, because we have to, step one is, so this big picture, and you can put it in the comments, and then when Joelle comes back in, she'll read it back to me. Do you really think that dogs that are like that you should start working on obedience? Do you really think that dogs that come in hot like that can be worked on obedience? And that's why our step one is so important. So step one, though, is seconds long. They're with us only for 4 weeks. The rest of the time, other than probably when we first take them out in public, you'll see how they are in public as well. and they'll know what no is, and they'll know what step one is. So you'll see one of the dogs is already starting to relax. That's everything? Okay. So I asked everybody, Joelle, when you're done putting that down, I asked everybody, do you really think that dogs like that can be, start getting obedience training when they're in that state of mind? So if you want to go to the computer and just let's finish up this, and then I'm going to replay that, and I'm going to get
You know, everyone's saying no, I'm gonna stop that shit.
right.
Yeah. Pretty much
Okay.
everyone's saying no.
Okay, I'm going to replay that, and I'm actually going to shut down the barking at the door with a bonker. So I'll do that on today's show. So are there any questions before we do that? And then I'm going to,
But I think we should just save Q&A for the end.
okay. Or is it applicable towards what is going on right now? Or what happened in the conversation? Also, they're like this in the car, by the way.
No. No, we can just go.
Okay, so why don't you bring Wes outside again?
Okay.
I'll just take one dog out, and then does the camera, you see the camera right here?
For the live, yes, and for the replay.
Okay. Is it gonna pick up the sound if I put my mic there?
It might now because I changed the audio settings.
Oh, you did. So should I take my mic off or no?
I'll just keep it on.
Okay, got it.
Like I said, worst case, Tony can just overlay it with the audio
Okay,
from this.
all
end.
right.
All right, I'll go get Wes. Guys, I can't really zoom in anymore, unfortunately. Like this is just what our lens looks like.
Can you bring
But
this?
you could see it fine. It's fine.
Okay, all right.
Can you explain what bonking is gonna look like
Yeah.
before you do it?
So bonking, what it's gonna look like is I'm gonna say no. And then I'm going to deploy the bonker. Right off the bat. You can do this right when the dog comes in. You don't have to teach it. You don't have to build a relationship. All that stuff you hear is a bunch of baloney. We need to stop the unwanted behavior before we start teaching the dog. Before we start teaching the dog. Like, there's no way that we can teach the dog in that state of mind. There's just no way. There's no way. And I think it's important that folks understand that there's no way you can actually teach a dog to do anything when it's in that state of mind. That's why when we talk about applying a punisher as your step one is so important. It's so important.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Do you have the dogs out?
I'm only gonna do one at a time. Do you want to
Okay.
just do it with Wes just in this room?
We can, but I feel like they go so
I'm only gonna have one dog
0
out.
to 100.
I'm just gonna have one dog out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is,
Look as soon as they look. If
so
we can even get
here's,
that.
before I do that, this is even another protocol. So you can't rush out of your crate. Break. Okay. All right, so bring Wes out. Okay, no. Okay. And I'm gonna get my bonker again.
But the problem is that one's gonna keep going and that's gonna make
Well,
this one.
this one sets off this one. So let's see. Let's bring Wes out again.
He's like, I do not want.
Let's have, no,
That one started first.
Yep.
Bo.
that's okay. I'm gonna concentrate on one dog at a time right now. No. No. This is a conditioned behavior that they have. Now, no. Okay, now. Everybody, write in the chat. Does anybody struggle with what just happened? Question 2. So write write 1, and then your response to that. Write 2. Do people understand why I did that? Do you have a problem with it? And do you understand why I did it? And question number 3, do you think this dog is afraid of me? Yes or no?
Well, I don't know what I'm getting here now. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of no's, but I'm seeing yeses now too.
Okay.
Maureen said 2 yes, so she thinks the dog is afraid of you, possibly? Is that what your second question was?
That was third.
Oh,
Okay.
she said 2.
We'll have a discussion anyway. Now bring Wes out right here.
Afraid, no, not afraid, I understand.
Right. Not at all. Now look what this dog is doing. It's what, this is what people want. They have a dog lined up. Now, remember, this is just minute 1. These dogs are going to be with us for over 3 million seconds. That took 2. Let's bring him right into even closer. And just down him.
Am I in front of the camera? Down. He doesn't want to be near it. He's like, all down over here.
Yep.
So Wes is avoiding that energy
Right.
too. And I have to respect that. I'm not going to force him to go
Right.
next to a dog that he wants nothing
Right.
to do with.
And then drop his leash. I'll be fine. I'll keep an eye on him and then go behind the camera and let's do some stuff. So this is step 1, everybody. You just saw fully transparent step 1. Owner was here. We talked about the issues. Listen. 1 dog in its kennel, 1 dog out of its kennel, 1 dog 8 feet away. Okay? The dog is not afraid of me. The dog is not shut down. The dog understands what a downstay is. I'm extremely passionate about this concept. If you truly want to fix your leash reactive dog, this is exactly how you do it. You shut it down and you shut it down hard. People will struggle with this concept. People will think this is too forceful. People will think I'm instilling fear. People will think it makes it worse. People will think the dog is going to lose trust in me. People will think you don't do this till you have a relationship with your dog. Every one of those things is wrong. This is what the truth is. The dog will start respecting me, the word no, eventually the word yes. The dog is going to learn what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And what do we have? Quiet. Look. Quiet. Wes with his I don't give a shit. Look. All right. And then nervous Joelle, because Wes is over here going, Wes hates little dogs barking their heads off at him.
No, it's fine. It's chilling.
Okay. If this dog was panting and stressed, don't worry about it. If this dog was nervous, don't worry about it. If you interpret this dog's behavior as being afraid of me, don't worry about it. It all works out. You have got to stop unwanted behavior now. You shut it down. It looks intense. I seem intense, but I am just methodical. No, pause, consequence. I did it 3 times. First time, it was working. Wes moved. Had to do it 2 more times. And yes, I'm going to have to do it again. This dog is a well-practiced leash reactive dog. Well-practiced. Here we go. Break. Kennel. Good.
Break.
Nope, leave him there. Leave him there.
Well, you're getting the other dog out, right?
No, I'm gonna just do this one
Ah.
today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because this is the
Yeah.
this was the leader. If we shut this down, the other dog is gonna start being fine.
Oh.
Okay. Good. Break. Good.
Nice.
Good. Look at that.
Someone asked if we could get Wes moving to see if that triggers arousal.
Sure. So let's have Wes moving in front of the dog. I've got my bonker ready. I'm sitting back.
It's the dog. Oh, the dog's afraid because it can see the bonker. Do you think this dog can see the bonker? Dog's not even looking at me. And I don't care if the dog looks at me. Enough with the eye contact, everybody.
Yeah.
Do I really care? Do I really care if this dog is looking at me? I could care less if this dog is looking at me. What's my number one care? Write in the comments. What's my number one goal right now, 15 minutes into the training session on day one? What's my number one goal? Write it in the chat.
That the dog stops. He's not staring down on other dogs, stop the shit, stop the behavior.
Yeah. Correct. Isn't that, sorry guys, but isn't that the goal? Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what the owner wants? Isn't that the job? Now, guess what I have? Guess what Courtney has? Guess what Joelle has? We have 4 weeks to train these dogs now.
6, right? I think 6 weeks.
I think they're 4 weeks.
Oh.
We have 4 weeks now, maybe 6, but I think it's 4, on all the awesome stuff that we want them to do. Now let's watch this. Break. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Wes, no. I don't like his side eye. He
Yep,
just gave
I got it. I'm keeping an eye on everybody. Good. Let's go. Good. Oh. The dog is learning what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Now, if your dog is not obedience trained, we have a course called Green to Graduate. Get Green to Graduate. So if you're like, well, why is the dog going? My dog won't go into a downstay. Get Green to Graduate. You'll teach your dog to go into a downstay.
Okay.
Would you want to do quick?
Question.
Okay, we have time. Do you want a chair to sit down on?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
So you want me to just start reading off questions?
Yeah, sure.
We got a lot here.
Actually, can you grab my coffee?
Let me just get back. Like, I'm gonna start at the top of the list,
Yeah.
guys. So some of these questions might seem out of context because I'm just starting at the beginning of the chat. Okay. This one was at 9:14. So this is how far back questions are going. Do you use sim only or do you use the tone on the e-collar? Also, since it's multi-dogs, do you have 2 controllers or both collars be paired to one device?
Okay. Question number 2. One handset synced to 2 dogs. You've got a red button and you've got a black button. One dog has got the black collar on. Thank you so much, Joelle. One dog has got the red button, and you always put the same collar on the dog so you remember which it is. Now, tone. What does tone mean? Tone, what does tone mean? Tone is a marker. Tone is a yes, tone is a no. You can train it any way you want to. What comes after yes and no? After yes comes a reward. After no comes a punisher. Right? So keep that in mind. So I think it's important that people understand that no, I don't use, first of all, next week, okay, thank you for the question. Next week, like this is a 5-day course. We're doing a 5-day e-collar course right after that. It's a 5-day live e-collar course. You can go right on to Solid Canine Academy. It's only $111. You will learn how to fully off-leash train your dogs. You'll see our 4 steps. We do not use tone. It seems like a lot of people are using tone right now, and that is fine. And it's under the guise of, gentle e-collar training. But I assure you, because it looks good on paper, on internet, I assure you that before tone was used, or at some point tone, there was a very high consequence afterwards in order for that dog to respect tone. If I did tone on my dogs right now, they would have no idea what it meant. So we use shock. If we want to stop an unwanted behavior, we make that behavior suck. It is as simple as that.
His dog's just chilling now. He looks very relaxed, actually.
Thank you, isn't that the goal? Like, look at that. Like,
He actually looks more relaxed than the one that didn't get bonked.
right. Live, unedited. And I know I keep repeating that, but I want people to see, like, that's what's great about this live unedited. I'm showing you everything we do. We just showed you how to shut down unwanted behaviors. Now, can this dog go to an outdoor cafe? Sure can. So now, what will I do in an outdoor cafe? I can say NO, leash pop. I can say NO, lower stim. The dog's like, oh, I know what that means.
Show you guys that though. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely
Yeah.
more than that than just correcting your dog.
Of course, there's a lot. That's
But
why
it's like, yeah, day one is usually when they get like the most corrections. If you want to consider 3 corrections even a lot. And then you'll see over the course of the week, maybe a couple more. That is it.
right,
It's not just like this big punishment fest like everybody like has in their mind
Right.
for some reason.
right. We'll do more rewards than reward-based trainers do. Yep.
All right, let's see. How do you explain bonking in front of young children when the child is not allowed to bonk or hit the dog?
It's a parenting thing. Can your 5-year-old say fuck? Do you know that Angela is 10 and Joelle and I swear all the time? We drop F-bombs all the time. Angelo doesn't
yourself.
swear.
I don't swear.
And he's the. So Joelle swears and lies. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
so now Wes is moving. And you see how the dog's ears moved?
Settle.
If we had the remote collar, the shock collar on, that would get a low correction. Why? Why is a leash reactive dog giving a shit what Wes is doing? This is how small you have to go. Next. So I'm sorry, let me answer the question.
Yeah, how do you
You explain it to the child saying this, when a dog is doing something well, we correct the dog. We reward the dog. Explain to them what rewards are. When the dog is doing something we don't want it to do, we apply a punisher to the dog. And when your dog is old, so Angelo has been going to euthanization sessions since he was 7 years old. He has been in the room for my last 4 dogs that I've had to put down. He has learned the circle of life. It's called parenting. It's called parenting. There's a big difference between that and hitting your dog, then teasing your dog, then throwing a rock at a dog in the neighborhood. I will teach, Angelo already knows, but you teach your child the whole circle of dog training. Next.
I've always struggled with using the bonker because worrying about creating a negative connection with the dog if they see me use it.
Okay. Guess what? I'm probably the #2 person in the country that has bonked. Gary Wilkes, who I learned how to bonk from. He's not my mentor. Okay. I just learned a skill from him. And I just say that because everyone thinks that I've got all these mentors. No, I just like learn skills. I have never seen a dog have a negative association with me. Okay, let me give you, let's go backwards. Did you hear the interview with the owner of the dogs? She has a massively negative association with her dogs. She can't go anywhere with her dogs. She can't do anything with her dogs. She can't walk her dogs. She can't have the dogs by the windows. Life with her dogs suck. I would consider that a negative association with her dogs. She's never bonked. Let me just tell you right now, I have not seen a dog have a negative association with me because I bonked the dog. You're worrying about something that you haven't done enough of, or maybe not at all. So I'm just saying, look what happened. Okay, here we go. Come here, sweetheart. Hi, honey. Oh, yes.
All right.
Okay.
This is all the comments about the audio, so I gotta get past these. Let's see.
Down.
Okay, someone said, Jeff, this is just like firm, tough love parenting 101. Worked with my boys, should have used the bonker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't even, so yes, but I don't even like to compare it to tough love with kids. This is dog training. This is the real world of dog training. And I'm sick and tired of our industry sugarcoating this stuff. This is how you stop unwanted behavior. Like, okay. If you like, I don't make, I love all of you. I don't pass judgments. Is there anything that I have done so far that is making anybody uncomfortable? Anything at all? Be honest. If you're uncomfortable, tell me. Tell me. Like, you heard the narrative with the owner. That made me uncomfortable. Like, did that make anybody else uncomfortable with the owner? Like, listening to her story? Everything that's going on here. Look at this. This is wonderful.
All right, let's see. A lot of these are just people like kind of talking to each other and stuff. Joyful Dog Service said, yes, bonker used before e-collar for the arousal typically, or combination of both depending on the context of arousal. Holly said, this is a great demo of a controlled setup so you can have this conversation with each dog. So important. Yep.
Yep. Bonker before e-collar, but you're teaching no. All I'm doing is teaching this dog no. This bonker will stay home with this bonker will stay home.
Does this protocol of just stopping these behaviors ASAP change in any way when dealing with a fearful dog? Neither of these dogs seem fearful. Just curious if stopping those unwanted behaviors is still top priority if they're severely fear-based.
Okay. How do you know they're severely fear-based? But number two, what are we trying to do? So if a dog is jumping at a window making noise, is that really fear? Is that really fear? Let's say these were fearful dogs and you saw that. Is that fear? Is that fear?
No, fear was Vader running to his kennel and retreating.
Right. Is that fear? That doesn't look like fear to me. Even if they were fearful dogs and they were still doing this, it doesn't matter if they're fearful. Stop the bad behavior. Stop the bad behavior. Stop using, okay, I will respect the concept that your dog is fearful, but I will not accept the fact that your dog is doing bad behavior. I will not accept it. So what do? You shut it down. You shut it down. Next.
Can you fix the leash etiquette fairly quickly too? The Roadrunner thing is intense. Is that just over arousal or is that how they always walk? That's how they always walk.
That's how they always walk.
We're going to teach you guys how to do a proper heel.
No, they're going to do a proper
That's
heel.
part of this course.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
part of this course. Yeah.
Let's see.
No, here. Let's go. Let's go. What text is right there? The text is right there. Dog sees text.
Laid down and looked away. Wow.
Okay.
That is literally like textbook perfect.
Text here. Text is right there.
So avoidance. Let's talk about the body language right now.
The dog is avoiding conflict. The dog's not afraid of text. Let's go.
He's avoiding. He doesn't know, right? He doesn't know all his foundation work. He doesn't really know any coping mechanisms yet. So the dog's like, okay, if I can't control myself to not, I can't bark and lunge anymore.
Down.
What's the other option? I'm just not going to look at this dog
Right.
today, right now.
You just saw it.
The dog is not going to look like this when he goes home,
Right.
but it's the first day.
Right.
We
So
just had our very first
So
conversation.
you just saw Roadrunner stuff not happening, and you just saw the dog, instead of going at Tex, look away from Tex. I call that pretty damn good results in live, unedited, right in front of you.
Do you use the bonker if your dog is already e-collar trained?
Sure,
These dogs are technically already e-collar
these
trained.
dogs are supposedly
They
collar
act like they
trained.
know nothing, so.
It's like, guys, the bonker is used to shut down, like, the bonker is used to do what I just did today.
Can't see how you would do this in public,
You don't,
which is how it would happen.
you don't need to do it in public.
We're gonna go off property with this course too. But what happens is day one, we just need to teach no. Then we'll transfer it to e-collar. Because once those dogs know and respect the word no, it doesn't really matter what correction comes next. So now when we're out in public and the dog starts even loading the littlest bit, no, e-collar correction. We don't carry bonkers out in public. Like that's just an inconvenience.
You don't need to.
Yeah, you don't need
This,
to.
it's so, like, why do we have to go for a walk for 2 more days? Why? Why can't we just work on all of our basic stuff? Look what happened in, look, if I wasn't talking to all of you, this is a 5-minute protocol. 5 minutes. Why can't I spend 2 days working with my dog inside, teaching it how to be respectful around other dogs? Next.
Should the bonker towel be size appropriate to the dog?
Sure.
Yeah.
I could have used this one,
It's just a kitchen towel.
but these are schnauzers. Schnauzers are hardy dogs.
Yeah.
They're from Germany. A miniature a schnauzer is a very hardy dog. They can take a bonk, and I didn't even bonk them at 100%.
Cannon said, very dramatic, no pain to the dog, just information.
No, no pain at all. Absolutely no. And this is what drives me crazy. It's like, oh my God, you're hurting the dog. These dogs didn't get hurt. They're not hurt at all. Their butt hurt, but they're not hurt.
I need a neutral dog like Wes, so I can do the same situation with my reactive dogs to stop their arousal.
But we'll be doing this with non-neutral
Yeah,
dogs.
eventually, like, so after day one, like I'll have Wes knows tricks. He can be a jerk on command. I'll have him barking on command, jumping, doing all kinds of like assholery to set them up to see now when the energy level is higher, are you going to react? And then we're going to proof it more. You have to kind of like build upon everything you've been teaching the dog.
Right.
Because we're not just going to be like, yeah, they're good in a sterile environment if all the other dogs are calm, because that's not the real world. Most dogs are not behaved out there.
Right. We'll take him around out of control dogs. But day one, what was my goal? And why? Okay, why did I pick this dog? Because this dog is the one that's the out of control dog. This is the follower. See this dog right there? That's a follower. This is the leader. What do you do?
Sure.
When you're in prison, what do? You walk up to the biggest, toughest guy and you punch him in the face. What do you do in dog training? You take the dominant dog and you work that dog and you shut that behavior down.
That's what you do in prison, Jeff. You know that?
Yeah.
Brittany said, would bonking be a good idea for barking out the front window? Yeah.
Brittany.
Come on, Brittany. You know
Brittany.
this. And Brittany, you know this.
Brittany, you know the answer to that question. The answer is
She
yes.
just wanted clarification.
Okay. Brittany,
We love you, Brittany.
yes.
Would bonker with quiet or no? Would bonker with quiet or no as well? Just asking to expand dog's vocabulary.
Okay. You
Oh,
don't,
like saying quiet then bonk.
you don't have to say quiet.
Just say no.
The word is no. You pause and you bonk. You don't need to expand your dog's vocabulary. Your dog doesn't need a big vocabulary. No, and then bonk. Anything you don't want your dog to do, you say no. You don't have to say stop jumping, stop barking, stop counter surfing. It's just no. That's it. That's all you need to say. Okay, no is a full sentence. Next.
How much do these dogs weigh? I noticed you use the regular size bonker on them instead of the little one. Does state of arousal matter when choosing size?
They're probably about 10 pounds, 12 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if
He
I
just
was,
didn't throw it as hard.
I just don't
like,
do this hard. So would I use this on a 5-pound Chihuahua? Probably not, but I might, but just literally not throw it as hard. Okay,
It's like a pillow, guys.
it's a cotton
It's
towel.
literally a pillow.
It's a cotton towel.
That's it.
That's it. That's all it is.
Would you bonk a bigger dog harder than a small dog?
Of course.
Mm.
Guys, I want you to, some of you, I might say, I'm not going to answer that question. Use common sense. You tell me, what do you think? What do you think? Of course you do. I would do a bigger dog as hard as I could. Like, you do realize that most big dogs can run through sheetrock easily. They can bounce off trees.
See, schnauzers will chase stuff
Hey,
through the woods like.
Do
to
you
the
know that
death.
most
They do
big
not care.
dogs can run into a car, dent your car, and not give a shit? I think a bonker will be fine. Next.
Constance said, I see you switched to a water bottle with a lid versus open cup today. Prada, no. When Prada drank your electrolytes in our last live, remember?
Oh, it must, well, here's my
That's
coffee. with
coffee though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Audrey said, even though I know most of this info, seeing it applied and played out in real time is what helps me so much. No one shares the messy middle or the correcting, so I question myself constantly and grateful to be here.
Thank you. That's why we're doing this. And that's why nobody else does it. Hold on one second. Come here. Cuddle up. Good. Break.
Fully strong. Oh no, Billy said these dogs will be at a cafe by week's end. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna see it happen. Bully Strong said advocating for Wes for his side eye. If he were to react bark lunge, he will out in high reactivity.
Oh, no, he would get an extremely hard correction.
He will out. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
He avoids for the most.
Yeah, he
like,
doesn't, he's
he
been,
doesn't react anymore.
he knows not to do this.
But that's why when I came over, if you guys caught it, like when I came over behind the computer and he was over there, I saw that little side eye. And then shortly after, he came and laid by me because he's like, well, mom's not here to advocate for me.
Right.
I'm just like left here vulnerable. Let me go find her.
Let's do another experiment. Bring Wes by.
Because don't forget, guys, like Wes.
So
used
we
to
have
be like
two, we have a
this.
couple of things that we might happen here. We've got our major dog right over there. So- No,
And then that one just listened to no because he knows no now. Theo.
bring this one, bring
Theo.
Wes by again. So this one is more concerned. Loose leash, bring Wes by.
It's like, I don't want to. Come on. I know.
Yeah, he
It's
can't
not-
stand,
yeah, he
he hates dogs like this with this energy.
And you guys know Wes. Like he's not this mopey dog. He's
Yeah.
just like,
He doesn't,
I
he,
do not.
can't
look, he's
stand
walking
dogs
on
with
the
this
wrong
energy.
side of me right now. He always walks to my left. Let's go.
So we shut this all down. I took the major problem out first, stopped that, brought this dog out, stopped that, and now I've got two dogs that are not doing anything. Hold on, one more thing, Joelle. Let's go. Oops, I stepped on that dog's foot.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
So even that, look at that staring. You guys see that?
See this?
That's called loading.
We would stop that.
We stop that because it's only going to escalate. That hard stare, ears up.
No,
Now he's more concerned about, oh, there's actually a person holding my leash. Oh,
yep, and your dog wants to hide, it's not allowed to hide.
you got to catch it soon. Like that's the key to stopping leash reactivity.
Walk right
And most
by.
people would be like, oh, but the dog's not doing anything. It's just looking. What's the
So,
intent?
so a
behind
lot
the
of people
look?
would say, oh, this dog is afraid. It's like, no, the dog is just, maybe it's just insecure.
It's always been the follower too, remember? So this is the less confident dog.
Yep, we're just revealing this. Look at this,
Yeah.
guys. Okay?
Good job.
These dogs are doing better today after 10 minutes of training than they did in 2 weeks. I'm not saying that it's an ego statement. I'm saying effective dog training works. That's why when there are people that are struggling their dogs, we like to be fully transparent on what we do so we can help more people.
Are you gonna down here? He's like, no, I'm not going to.
Do me a favor, see if you can get him to down right here.
Oh my God, he's not gonna.
And then I want you to take a photo of it, do a little
Yeah.
video of it, because I want you to do a promotional thing. Look at how slow he's going.
I know, he's
He
like,
can't stand
oh
it.
my God.
And then see if you can get a video of this.
Good.
This can help so many people. This can help so many people. So you saw the behavior beforehand, right? And now you're seeing it now. Now you're seeing it now. All from well-timed punishers that were applied properly. That's it. Obviously, there's more to it than this. The course is not over. This is day one. All right, Wes can go back to his place. So now I've got dogs that obviously now we can start the training. What else we got?
Teresa said, finding it difficult to hear, will leave now and try the replay when available to see if I can hear better.
Huh?
Interesting. I changed the audio settings. Can everybody hear better now since I did that?
You can probably turn off the background thing you did.
Dave said, I'm a little uncomfortable with it, but the proof is in the pudding.
Hold on here, Dave. You're an experienced dog trainer. Why are you uncomfortable with this? You've been training for a while. What's so uncomfortable about? No, seriously. I would like to actually know why is somebody uncomfortable with stopping an unwanted behavior? You heard the owner about their life. Look, who doesn't want dogs that are sitting quietly on the ground? This is a cotton towel. How much stress do you think these dogs were in when they were lunging at the leash? How much stress do you think the owners were in not having dogs to be able to go out? And all I'm using is a cotton towel, and so the dogs learn no. And the proof is in the pudding. The problem is, if a trainer's uncomfortable with this, how are we supposed to pass this knowledge on to an owner to be able to rehab all these dogs that are being killed? I respect that you're uncomfortable with this, but look within and ask yourself, why are you uncomfortable with teaching a dog the concept of no in a quick and efficient way? Next.
Sid said, poor owners, you'll change her life with them totally. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Joyful Dog Services said I should have added in another course. I need the fearful aggression and reactivity, etc. When dealing with large portion of the dog being severely undereducated and under socialized. You socialize and do exposure work first. It's difficult doing home sessions too. I don't have the option to board, and owners are massive triggers to the dogs. Can I create a bundle still if I want the e-collar course coming up after this and a fear course? What do you do when the owner is very, very hard to teach? Bring the dog out solo first, then translate to the owner.
Bingo.
Both at the same time is not productive sometimes. Sorry, tried to send in several messages.
So
Okay, so first things first. Yes, you can still bundle if you're gonna do, I'm pretty sure there's order bumps. Tony is on the chat too. I think he can clarify, but if you go to buy the e-collar course, I'm pretty sure there's order bumps there
fearful for the fearful
for
dog.
the fearful dog
Yeah.
and possibly a consult with Jeff as well.
Yep.
So yes, and if it's not the bundle you want, message us, we'll create one for you.
Notice how this dog keeps trying to flee. Notice how I'm putting it where I want to. This will help you with confidence
Yeah,
building,
that's what
everybody.
the dog's fearfulness. It's
Right.
like you can't flee. You have to
No, you can't hide
do it.
behind this. You have to get out. You have to get out here, out front and center. I'm going to put you in a command, and that's where I want you.
So then when we deal, let's see, undereducated, under socialized, they get their socialization and exposure once we put a foundation on that. So
Right.
you'll see a little bit of that work towards the end of this week, but most of it's going to be interior, maybe like day 4, day 5, we'll start taking them off property, outdoor cafes. We're going to walk around the perimeter of a dog park, right? Work them around their triggers. And working the dogs through those hurdles, the stuff that would have been usually triggered them before training, that is how you grow the dog's confidence. It's not all the agility and like all the things you would think, right? Like, oh, do more like going through hoops and running up and down A-frames. It's like, no, just get the dog out in the world, hold them accountable for what they know, and you're gonna see these guys get more confident.
Here we go. You know what a confidence drill is? Hide under the chair,
I put you out here. That's a confidence drill. So Joel and I were talking about something five minutes prior to starting this course. We are going to do another course in a few weeks with our public access and proofing of these two dogs. We're going to do another 1-day live, maybe a 2-day live, showing these two dogs doing great. Doing great. I'm just so passionate about sharing this information. I'm just so passionate about sharing this information that these dogs are going to be with us for over 3 million seconds, and this literally stopped in a couple of seconds. We have to scale that. We have to scale that. We really, really do. We really do. And I think it's really, really important that we scale these things, because so many owners are out there struggling and they don't need to be. And this is how it's done. This is how it's done. You stop the unwanted behavior. You really do. What else do we got?
See, I find that clients don't want to bonk, but are totally fine with e-collar. They say they don't want their dog knowing the correction is coming from them.
Okay, so I tell the client the opposite. You absolutely, when it comes to jumping on the counter, I want the counter to be hot. When it comes to going in the trash, I want the trash can to be hot. When it comes to the dogs doing this, I absolutely want you to know that I'm the one that shut it down. Next.
Are you going to use the e-collar to punish the loading before you condition it to recall and heal? What's the big picture going to look like for remote collar use for the next 5 days?
For the next 5 days, we will start the dogs, since they already know their basics, we will start using the e-collar now to shut down loading, to also stop any leash reactivity that we did today without the bonker. We will also have the dogs around dogs that are out of control. And we'll start working dogs in high distraction places. And then next week, we do a 5-day e-collar course. It's only $111. If you go to Solid Canine Academy, you can get that course where we start teaching you how to e-collar train these dogs. Because obviously, as you heard from the owner so put it this way, in 5 minutes, and this is not an ego statement, but I'm saying when you're looking for dog trainers out there, that's why we sell courses. In 5 minutes, we made more progress than the other board and trained in 2 weeks. I'm not saying this to bash anybody. I'm saying this, that there is good dog training out there. And you know what it is? People that use this are considered abusive, but for some weird reason, they get really good results.
The bigger thing too, that I want to talk about to expand on that is we could, even if these dogs were not e-collar conditioned, we could absolutely stop the reactivity with a remote before we start obedience with them. I really want to make that clear, because that is such misinformation out there that you can't correct a dog for barking, lunging, doing all that nonsense until what? Until you've spent 3 weeks off leash training them. It makes no sense. So if these dogs were at our board and train facility, which today is day 1, and they're in the kennel at Courtney's house where she has multiple dogs, and they're losing their shit in the kennel, they're gonna get corrected on the remote collar for that. She's not gonna wait until she's put some obedience on them. So you can correct on the e-collar before it's been conditioned, and you guys are gonna see next week when we do e-collar train them, they're not gonna have like this negative association to the e-collar.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way.
All this stuff you've heard about applying a punisher, ruining a relationship with a dog, is a lie. I've been talking about this on my podcast for years, but now you're seeing it live.
How did you determine which one was the instigator so quickly?
Skill set.
It's also, he's the one who redirects on the other one.
Yeah, he's also working with lots of dogs. I picked that up. Put it this way, I knew it from the video that she sent in. Instinct.
What if bonking correcting makes the behavior even worse in that moment. You know, it's fear-based, but the arousal is so high, the punisher is not effective enough. But when away from the owner, the dog shuts down in flight mode and doesn't react the same way. Leash back to owner or in the crate, dog goes nuts. Yes, a biter with intent. When do you have these schnauzers owners come back? Not until the end. Curious if her handling brings back the arousal or if they change regardless of who's handling.
So that's a lot of questions. You should probably do a one-on-one consult with me. Because it sounds like you're a trainer.
Yeah.
The owner comes back at the midway part of the dog training. Fear
And
ba-
they will most likely try to react with her because that's the association, right? That's why human coaching is so important. So if we see them even getting a little bit amped up with her, we're gonna teach her how to shut that down.
she will learn how to shut it down.
So she's gonna learn how to bonk. She's gonna learn how to e-collar correct. Like,
Right.
the owner gets just as much training
Right.
as the dogs do.
I want you to get rid of the word fear. We're holding these dogs accountable for unwanted behavior, fearful or not. The owner comes at midweek. We teach the owner how to do exactly what we just did here. What was the other questions that were on that?
That's kind of it. When do you have these schnauzers owner come back? She'll come back at the mid-training and go home.
Yeah, and it's fearful doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't matter when it comes to this stuff. Nothing mattered. Whether these are fearful dogs or not, which they are not. This one is more insecure, but it's not fear.
You have a controlled environment to bonk them into sense. Not sure how to initiate it at home without the triggers you were using. My dog's behavior is manageable at home.
You don't have there's no dogs that you can have walk by your window. You don't know anybody with dogs that can walk in your house back and forth? Anybody at all? But we're gonna take this outside in an uncontrolled environment. But training is done in a controlled environment first. And then we're gonna go outside. Then we're gonna go outside. But this is how all dog training is.
And
all-
you're gonna see, guys, as we go. Okay, remember, this is just day one. We need to get them to be quiet. Once we start getting out, there's so many small things we're gonna address before we step outside.
Right,
And that is gonna be what you can also mirror at home, whether you have dogs around or
right.
not.
But let me address though, controlled environment. That's how you start, but you also can duplicate this. This is in my house. This is just in my house, just 2 dogs in my house. You must own a dog. Your neighbor has a dog. A friend of yours has a dog. Ask them to come over. That's it. That's it.
Crystal said, who should I work first? Our leader is Duke, that is less leash reactive in public, or the follower Coco, that is more reactive.
Still do the leader. Still do the leader.
Constance from Multi-Dog Home, the instigator sets off the pack. Do you correct all or just go for the initial troublemaker and see who continues after one stops?
Yes.
Yeah.
Option 2.
Yeah. Do you have another dog other than Wes you can do a walk by, one maybe more curious, interested?
Yes, we do, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
These dogs will go off on anything.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we have.
And we're gonna proof them in the real
And we
world.
did show it with text. But it doesn't matter. What does curious mean? I would never let a dog walk up to these dogs, ever,
Mm-mm.
other than in socialization. This is day one. It doesn't matter if there was a dog that was curious. Most dogs don't want anything to do with dogs like this.
Yeah.
They don't want anything to do with dogs like this. But it doesn't matter. They would still do this. They understand what no is. We have to stop making excuses for dogs' unwanted behavior. I shut down the dog's bad behavior. I mean, I can't show you any better. I can't show you any better. We shut down the behavior. They don't need a curious dog. They bark outside. Okay, if a dog is walking down the street,
So see, all these little things, guys, we're staying on top of it. They matter. Oh,
Okay.
he just broke it down. Oh, he just wanted 6 inches of space. No.
These dogs inside their house bark at dogs 50 feet away. It doesn't, you don't need a curious dog. Here, do me a favor. Just call Tex in and then just bring him over to my room.
Text here.
No.
West here. Do you want me to do that again?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. Text.
Tex here. He hates this. He hates this energy on the dogs.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Tex. Bring him over here, down him right here.
Good boy.
No.
This is like his limit. He's like, I'm not going any closer.
See if we can get him a little bit closer.
Good boy.
See, dogs that have been, that have been. See, this is what happens when you well socialize your dog.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
He
Like
likes to avoid-
Tex knows, see, when you have balanced dogs like Tex, they don't want anything to do with these dogs. And he's not afraid of these dogs, I assure you. He just doesn't want anything to do with dogs like this.
Yeah.
That's all. But you don't need a curious dog. You don't need a curious dog, but you just saw how I just stopped it. You just saw how I did it. Bonked once, couple of leash pops.
Let's see, because Joelle is respecting Wes, she would not ask him to heel. No, I wouldn't demand, like, our dogs, because I trust their judgment. I know they're balanced dogs. I'm not gonna force them into situations where A, either of these dogs could potentially lunge at them, or B, there's any failure of any way. Like, because
Right.
our dogs have come so far with their own rehab from the past. I'm not gonna put them in a position.
We have to
unless some-
respect.
You have to
yeah.
respect the dog.
Yeah, you
So
have to
even
respect
if
the
I was
dogs.
in public, okay, I'm in a public space and I'm passing somebody who's, my dogs always heel on the left, but if someone was walking with their dog on the left coming towards me, I'm gonna swing my dogs around to the right.
Right,
I'm gonna put myself between my dog and these other random dogs that most likely
right.
are gonna try to lunge at them, sniff them, whatever the case may be. I'm always the barrier.
But you also, you don't need Wes to heel.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But notice how, so Tex recalls to me really quickly. He didn't want to come close because he can't stand this dog, this energy. So I have to respect that. I have to respect that.
Are your dogs reacting to you bonking or the other dogs? They're reacting to the other dog's energy. Our dogs don't care about bonkers.
Our dogs don't care about the bonker.
They actually don't care.
Again, we're looking too much into this.
Yeah.
Okay, can we understand? Okay, I as a human being stay away from toxic humans. I stay away from assholes. I walk away from conversations where people are being jerks. I don't surround myself with people that are negative. I walk away from negative conversations. Guess what? Smart dogs stay away from conflict. So Tex could care less about the bonker. Wes can care less about the bonker. All they care about is these are unstable dogs and they want nothing to do with them. Our dogs are not afraid of this. They're not afraid of me. They're not afraid of Joelle. They're not afraid of these dogs. They don't want to be next to them. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that.
The little white dog is like, my dog seems more reactive to Wes, etc., is hiding under the chair. How will you get him to be less reactive and nervous?
You just saw it.
Yep.
I just showed you. I literally just showed you. So this dog hiding underneath here, I dragged the dog out, I put him into a down. The dog broke the down, I put him into another down. You're seeing everything we would do right now. And so a lot of it seems like a lot of people are missing a lot of the small stuff, but the small stuff is the secret. I'm literally showing you how these dogs are going to be rehabbed right here. And I'm not, if I sound upset or defensive, that's not it. I just want people to, because all I know is this, everyone's looking too deep into this stuff when it's simpler than you think. Oh, you want to hide under the chair? You're not allowed to hide under the chair. No words, no anything, just bring the dog out, pop him into a down stay, out from under the chair. That's how we do it. It literally is as simple as that. I can't be any more transparent. Next.
Let's see. Stacy said, I found that when I do this, even if the owner is uncomfortable, they absolutely come around after they see the results.
If the owner is uncomfortable, they either have to get over it or you can't be their dog trainer anymore. If you truly want these dogs to be rehabbed, and the owner knows what I'm doing, like we're fully transparent. Like the owner can watch this.
Yeah, I told her we're gonna give her a
Yeah, like the owner's gonna see this. But if an owner's uncomfortable, well then take your dogs home. Don't leave them with us. But the owner people know what we do. Like we're not hiding it. Like we're streaming to everybody here.
Yeah.
We're streaming live.
I correct for the prong, which doesn't do anything. She just does not care. Should I try a bonker or go right to e-collar?
Okay. What do you think? We just showed you how to do it. What do you think? Again, I like to throw questions back at owners because I've already shown you how to do it. What was effective? What was effective? I'm not trying to be a jerk. What was effective? What seems to have worked? What seems to have worked? Next.
Constance said, love it. We get to see start to finish. Awesome. Awesome. We'll so sign up for the live public access of these dogs. Okay. We're doing a public access of them?
Yeah, while you were in the bathroom, I made up a course.
Okay. Great.
A 2-day with Joelle, a 2-day public access. How to proof the dogs on day 1, and then day 2, how to have them in public. Yep.
Can you explain more about Patreon? What does that provide to us? So if you have that, you get 20% off the e-collar. You get 20% off all the courses if you're a Patreon
The
member.
biggest benefit right now of Patreon is you get 20% off of all courses and consults, and I do a Zoom Q&A. But full disclosure, especially for my Patreon people, we're going to be starting a membership course, a membership program on our new website, Solid Canine Academy. So eventually Patreon will disappear. And what you'll get on the membership is more of Joelle and I. You'll get things like this. You'll get behind the scenes stuff. It's going to be a monthly membership.
What question we're talking about here?
Hmm.
I second Holly's question. I might have missed that. Twice in the last week, a dog actually went nuts going at me from inside the crate. The bonking made it worse. I'm thinking e-collar, but dog's not e-collar trained yet. And what if
Doesn't
it's
matter.
Pure terrified fear. I have a bit of guilt about correcting it.
Why? Why do you feel guilty shutting down a behavior? This is why trainers and owners need to get over it. I know it sounds cold and uncaring. You've got to get over it. Do you or do you not want to stop the behavior? Stop it now. You make it suck to go after you, and the dog stops. The dog stops. We do it all the time with 100% success.
Like I said before, any dog that's going crazy in the kennel day 1, they absolutely feel what an e-collar or bark collar feel like. We can't have dogs in our kennel just going nuts like that. We just can't. It's not fair to the other dogs there either. They don't want to listen to that. They don't want out of control dogs. Like, look at how much our dogs respond just to this dog's energy. Never mind if they were barking 24/7. Like, our dogs would be terrified.
No.
Is there a reason you're not using prong collars? Because we haven't started
No.
yet. Like, we are not even getting into obedience, guys. We are covering behavior
Right.
first before obedience.
You don't need a prong collar. Yeah. Now, I wouldn't train them on flat buckle collars because they can slip out of them, but you don't need a prong collar. We train on Broncoers because a lot of owners do need them. You don't need a Broncoer.
Well, we could change.
You know what you
train these
need?
dogs on a shoestring.
This is what you need. Effective dog training. You know, I'm a huge fan of tools, but what you truly need is effective dog training. And this is what everyone is not, this is what everyone misses. This is the important stuff, not the tools. Not the tools. This is the important stuff.
Oh, here's Holly's. Okay. How do you handle the dog retaliating after a bonker when it's in the kennel? The dog's just going into defense. That's
Pull
all.
the dog out, bonk it again.
Since you're teaching the dogs what no means, can you talk about why you don't threaten the dog with the bonker? I have to coach a lot of humans how to follow through and why it's important to do it calmly, not frustrated or with hesitation.
Because we don't threaten dogs. I don't threaten a dog. I don't say, if you don't shut up, I'm going to give you this consequence. It's no consequence.
Yeah, but I think a lot of owners don't want to actually correct. They're just like, oh, I show them the tool and they
No,
stop.
so you have to tell them that that's improper.
Because all you're doing is teaching your dog that your no is a warning. And
Right.
you don't really have to change their behavior. They're like, oh, you said no, I'll stop now, but I'll do that shit again in 5 minutes. When you follow through, the dog knows your no is serious.
Yeah.
And that is why that's exactly what we tell our
I
clients.
never threaten a dog. I always follow through.
I also tell my clients, do you want to be chasing this behavior for the rest of your dog's life,
Yeah.
or do you want to get it out of the way now? And if I tell them that way, like, do you want to be every single day correcting your dog multiple times a day? Is that the kind of relationship you want with your dog? Or do you want to just be like, no, one time and your dog takes you seriously?
So it took me a while. I didn't even know the dog was under the chair. So as soon as that dog went underneath, I would have addressed that. I just didn't see it. But again, that little thing right there, that will help the dog be more confident.
Let's see. When is the membership coming out? Is the price same as Patreon? Still 20% off courses? Should I wait to sign up instead of Patreon?
Well, the
No,
membership,
the membership is absolutely going to be more,
it's gonna be a lot,
probably
it's gonna
double what Patreon
be
is.
more than double.
But I will say that Patreon members will be grandfathered in for a period of time,
Yep.
probably like their first year, they'll still get Patreon pricing. Nothing is like really set in stone yet, but the membership is gonna have just way more than what Patreon offers.
Right.
Um,
Because, well, number one, we can do more stuff with it too.
yeah. Audrey said that is managing versus actually training and extinguishing a
Yeah.
behavior.
I want
Exactly.
I want this behavior to be gone.
Right. If you're constantly just threatening your dog, you're managing.
I
it.
want this behavior to be gone. And I also want to teach the dogs how to make better choices.
What do you recommend for people who live in countries where remote collars and bonkers are illegal? I don't
There's
think
no
kennels are
There's
legal.
no country where bonkers are illegal. There's no country where effective dog training is illegal. All I'm using here is a bonker. It's a rolled up towel. There's not a country that bonkers are illegal.
True. And people were throwing shoes and shit at their dogs.
People
well
throw
before
stuff at their
bonkers.
dogs all the time.
Throw pillows.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. I love my sister so much, but she'll throw pillows at her dog. But then when I tell her to just bonk them, she like looks at me sideways. I'm like, it's the same thing.
No
It's
different.
literally the same
Right.
thing.
But I can't stress enough, effective dog training, teaching a dog what you want and what you don't want. You can do that without tools. Why do we use tools? Because they're more effective, and who doesn't want the most effective dog training that's out there?
How do you differentiate by dog barking at passing dogs or barking protecting the property?
Okay, chances are your dog's not protecting the property. Chances are they're being an asshole. So when somebody walks by the house, walking their dog in the street, and your dog is going nuts, is that protecting the property? No. No. When Amazon comes to the house and your dogs are barking, are the dogs protecting the property? We have a lot of door-to-door salespeople here. Windows, insurance, gutters, landscaping. They might be scams. Maybe someone is trying to gain access, but these are family pet dogs. I don't need them to protect my property. That's my job.
What's the difference between using the bonker versus a pet corrector?
Huge difference. Bonker's more effective.
Pet correctors, most dogs don't even care. They just get desensitized to it.
Also,
after like 2 times.
Also, pet corrector, you're constantly running out of cartridges. Sometimes they explode. No, you know what a pet corrector is? Just compressed air. It's
Those
a-
work for like puppies, but I feel like even puppies after a while are just like, I literally don't care.
Yeah, yeah. We like bonkers better, but use whatever works for you. Effectively and efficiently.
I think that's it. And it's 11 o'clock anyway, so we should probably start wrapping up day one. And trust me, there's a lot more to come, you guys.
Mm.
This is literally just day one. Now we'll run them through obedience commands and do all that stuff that we do in like Green to Graduate. You know, we're gonna take them through the process. They're gonna get trained up just like
Yeah.
any other dogs would.
Yeah.
But this is how we get them into receptive mode.
We
We're
just
now
have to show you.
and you're not gonna be a million miles a minute barking at every little thing. It's like we need to prime you to actually be trained.
Right.
And this is how we do it.
And also, I really want to address the fear thing.
Yeah.
Stop using fear to stop you from doing the process.
Audrey said, I think a lot of people would benefit from the business course and how to attract the right clients. A hard client who is pushing back with emotion against effective training will make you hate your job real fast. Once I started being picky about clients and correcting nonsense right away, my life and business got so much better.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that is like literally what we preach here.
Yep.
We don't get these clients who are not on board for what we
Right.
do.
So if like this person wouldn't be sitting here
If she didn't know.
if she didn't know what we do.
Exactly.
Like they wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't have a client like that, like hire us. We don't want that client. We don't want that client. So you talk to them about it. They know what we're doing. They know what they were doing. She knew she was being filmed. She knew the dogs would get bonked. She knows that we're going to be making courses out of this dog. She knows everything.
She's gonna see the course. She's
Yeah.
gonna learn.
Yeah.
Our clients want to learn.
Yeah. I mean, like most people want dogs that are behaved. You heard her. She wants to take her dogs everywhere. And look at the progress we made without me talking, this was a 5-minute process.
See, if you don't mind a couple alert barks. Yeah, this is what we do. I have some clients we implemented an enough cue.
Oh.
It's just another word, but when they correct them.
Yeah.
And they continue barking after. cue
There's a
set,
big
yeah.
difference. Okay, you saw the dogs going nuts there.
Same thing. we
That's
say,
not an alert bark.
No.
I don't
That's-
mind 1 or 2 barks from a dog. Tex does it and Wes does it. They both go like Tex when they're back here. So our pool is right there. I'm sure you can see the pool and the cameras. So there's a lanai and a pool. They'll be back here. We've got 2 big fans back there, 2 dog beds back there. It's in the shade. They've got water back there. They'll hang out there and they'll hear somebody coming up the front walk and they'll give out 1 or 2 barks. That's fine. There's a big difference between that and what these dogs were doing.
What is the business course? How much marketing is included? Need marketing help?
Do it right now. You have to schedule a one-on-one online consult.
Or you talking about our social media course though? Because that's $127 and I teach you how to create content and yes, marketing, like branding your business, attracting ideal clients.
Right,
That is my social media course. It's on the academy.
right.
It's $127.
Which is a good way to start screening out clients that are not good for you because you're putting your work out there so people can see everything you're doing. Like you'll be able to see everything you're doing. So right now, there might be people that are taking this course that would go, oh my gosh, I would never send my dogs to Jeff in a boarding train. But there's also probably people that would say, I would love to send my dogs to Jeff as a boarding train. So in a way, we're adding value hopefully to your knowledge, but in a way, we have to always remember we're auditioning for business as well.
Let's see. Day and time, yeah, it's 9 a.m. every day for the
Yep.
courses for this course. Next week when we do the e-collar, which is the second half of this dog's training, where they're actually going to get their off-leash obedience and stuff, that is going to be at 6 p.m. We wanted to try and hit the nighttime market in case people couldn't do morning, things like that. Either way, you always get the replays though.
So the closing words, is Wes still here?
No.
Oh, you put him away? So a couple of closing words. When folks bring up, my dog is fearful, or folks bring up, can you set up this one scenario because it won't look like the scenario for me? When folks bring up certain things, the reason why I change my tone on that and I get a little bit dickish with my response, it's because that is what is keeping you from being successful with your dogs. And I want so passionately, I don't want to sugarcoat this. I want you to shut that mental thought down. And I want you to just focus on the results. And I want you to just do what we are doing step by step if you want to get the results. And I don't want you to make an excuse. And I want you just to follow the process on something we have done thousands of times, because I actually want you to win. And if you go to a therapist that's really good, they're going to challenge you. And you might swear at your therapist, but if you listen to them, you're going to be like, wow, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Okay? And I do this because I care. I do this because I care. All right? Thank you all for being here. We're madly in love with you. We feel honored and blessed that you signed up for this. The replay will probably be in your portal and be emailed to you tonight at some point or early tomorrow. I will see everybody at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. But look at this.
Yeah, they're like falling asleep.
Look at this beautiful site.
Theo is anyway.
Look at this beautiful site. And to close it off, you want to bring Wes out one more time?
Sure.
So they're following Joelle. She's walking down a hall.
Guys, I want to say we're purposely not doing e-collar obedience.
Right.
We're saving that for the course next week. So we're doing all leash work with them this week. And then maybe just some e-collar corrections for barking and all that nonsense.
Right.
So they're only going to know e-collar as a punitive thing
Right.
and then we'll condition them.
Okay, they're looking down the hall. She opened up her door. Her and Wes are coming through. The dog is right here. I would correct that eventually.
You want your ball? Your ball? He won't even take a ball. He's like, no. He doesn't even want it.
Yeah.
He loves his balls.
He doesn't like the energy of these dogs.
He's like, F that.
Yeah, but just walk
It's
them
like,
back.
could just say, just being in the presence of these dogs shuts him down, quote unquote. But he's just like, no, I don't like their energy.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is it. And yes, it is a controlled environment. That's how you do dog training first. This was just, we've only been here for 2 hours. This is day one. This is just day one of their life with us. And we already shut down something that these owners have been struggling with they're only 11 months old and have already been to another board and train, and we shut it down. Right here, live in front of you. I just want everybody to know this can be simpler than you think. And that's why I love these unedited courses, because I get to show you everything, whether people are comfortable with it or not. It's just effective. It's just effective. So I love you all. I care about all of you. And I will see you all tomorrow. All right?
Thanks, guys.
Take care, everybody. Love you.